Genji is coming back, which is fine. What in the world is this Mercy? This is some we'll start with the Roadhog point of view. I mean, comp-wise, comp-wise, they have Roadhog Mercy, Junkrat Roadhog. Okay, so a good start to a lot of games is to make sure that you have 6 people in there. As you can see right now, we still have Stank over here waiting to pick their hero. That's usually not the best play you want to go with, and it can be. I usually like to roll out of the doors with 6, but we'll start with this.
Moira by your side.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I expected the comps to be a little bit more hammered, but it's actually not that hard to look at this and be like, okay, we can kind of like make adjustments off of what the players are doing, and like it's actually kind of a normal comp. In like what I didn't expect to see them roll out with, like, you know, these type of comps. Like they have a shield tank, they have a Roadhog. All right, let's see what the hog does here. Okay, so the first part that I can look at is 1, against that comp, you can stay with your team because the shield they have is really easy to break. But 2, don't heal yourself when you have full HP as Hog, because it reduces. Not only does it heal you for basically half your HP, it also reduces damage on you. So it's better to not do that. The under aiming. So far, he's doing pretty good. I'm gonna be honest with you, this guy's doing pretty good. Like it's not even like. Like, it's so hard to look at it and be like, like, it seems kind of normal. They didn't have the point the whole time. Okay, so something you can do, and this can go for anybody. This goes for anybody, any rank, okay? Any rank. Any rank, and let me just fix that. You can do this at any rank. When you finish a fight, and you're going to go, Emongg, you know, I watch you sometimes, you don't even do this. Yeah, but I'm reading chat. I have an excuse, okay? Like, you don't just sit on point. You don't just sit on point. You go and set up for that, like, to take away map control from them. The problem is that if you look very quickly, look at the setup they have right now. I like to call this, I don't know how to do my controls. What the heck is... If you look, the Roadhog's right here. The Orisa's right there. The Junkrat's up here. They can't help anybody. Wait, what? All right, so if you're a Moira player, this is not ideal, because they can come and kill you, or you can use your cooldowns out, and then you're kind of in a weird spot. Now I'm gonna head back over here. As you can see, Genji is coming back, which is fine. What in the world is this Mercy? This is some like Dead Space 3 shit. Okay, so we're gonna go back now, back to the Roadhog. I'm doing Roadhog. I'm gonna switch to the Mercy. So the submitted demo review is also from the Mercy, but I want to give kind of a couple different point of views, because I think that while reviewing one player and helping them get better, it's really hard for me to tell a Mercy what to do, because I actually don't play Mercy, and I probably would give bad advice. But I want to be able to give a little bit of advice from what I can see from like from movement and point of view, stuff like that. So it's kind of like, you know, we'll see. Anyway, the fight's over. They're kind of just standing around. Roadhog is now frontlining. This is okay from, like, at this point of view. The more is back, the more I use the more heal and orb the other team. So generally, when you play Moira in that situation, you want to, if you're going to even use an orb, you damage orb them, because the heal and orb doesn't heal them. Yeah, that's a good Valk. That Valk is good. The res is good. I'm not even against this Hog ultimate. The reason why I'm not against that Hog ultimate is because it keeps them away after they pop their ultimates. Now you just go for the Zarya. Hey. Okay, so if anybody new to Roadhog, one of the things you want to do with Roadhog is kind of like be like, how do I say this? As a Roadhog player, and this is just my opinion, as a Roadhog player, when you go for your hooks, try to finesse it. Like, go like slow with your hook. If you do that, and you'll see me do it sometimes on stream, when I hit those really sick hooks, it's because I finesse it, and that means like go left to right slowly. If you flick like this, you're gonna have your hooks just go like to like Narnia. You're gonna literally have your hook go to like Narnia, right? So you want to do more of like a finesse, like where you kind of like slide it across like slowly. I've done it on Roadhog too, but whenever I'm like in the mode on Roadhog, it's really good. Okay, so second, don't try to hook a tire. Even though it does do damage to it, you're better off going for the right click there because the damage is more efficient with the right click, especially if they're running in a straight line, and then you'll still have your hook after. You can technically hook it for damage at one point if it gets closer and you hit it with your right click, but it's better to right click it than hook it rather because your left click won't do enough damage like in between, okay? So your left click is when you're close range, like close range would be like here, you want a left click, right? If you're back here, you want a right click. If the tire gets to like right here, it will kind of dead zone a little bit, and then you're kind of screwed because then you'll die. Also, Hog is looking mighty fine. Now heal yourself. Good. Okay, so 2 things for any player trying to get better. I'm going to start. I didn't really start with this. Finding the right sensitivity is really key. And what I mean by that is if you feel like you're flailing around or like your aim is like, woo, like you're basically like if you're like a sprinkler with your aim or you're all over the place, a lot of the time 2 things are happening. A, you're panicking, or B, your sensitivity is so slow or so high that you don't even give yourself an opportunity. So like one thing I recommend is kind of going into like the trainer range and just like aiming on bots, figuring out a sensitivity that can kind of track bots a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. Figure out how to track the bots a little bit. Find like that in between, then go into a rank game and then adjust it ever so slightly up or down. I'm a fast sense player. You can play low sense. For example, I play in 17 sense. I know most players play in 8.5 or like 10. So if you need like say you're like, you don't really know what to do, just go like 5 cents on like 5 cents on 800 DPI. If you or whatever, and then do the math based off of that, and I guarantee you, you'll have a sense that's decent enough, and then go from there. So, I play in 400 DPI, by the way. That's why I say that. I play in 17 cents on 400 DPI. Also, when you're playing Roadhog or a hero, in general, remember your cooldowns are your most important thing. One thing I'm learning now, because even though I'm at the GM top 100 level, one thing I'm learning is like that a lot of like when I screw up as a main tank, for example, is because of cooldowns. Like I'll be on Reinhardt and then I won't manage my shield enough, and I just want to go in and make some aggressive play and rush in and kill people, and it doesn't really work because I'm playing. How do I put this? I'm playing like I don't care about my cooldowns, but with tanks, cooldowns matter. So don't throw your hook out every 6 seconds. It's not like the old Gene Gretzky quote. Don't every hockey puck that misses the net is gonna go in, right? You want to be patient with your hooks, and if you're patient with your hooks, you'll find that you'll get way more value out of throwing out 50 hooks and missing 48 of them, right? There's a lot of different things that you need to figure out. And I think that with Roadhog, I personally, the reason why I would always have 60 to 70% in matches when I played Roadhog and was good at Roadhog, and when I do have good Roadhog games, because I'm patient with my hook. I'm not trying to force every single hook cooldown because it's a patience hook. Like, if you're just throwing hooks into the middle of the open trying to hit field goals, you're going to miss every single time, right? So it's good to be patient with hog hook, and that's how you learn how to finesse a little bit too. Because when you're more patient with your hooks, you start to learn how to hit every hook that you want because you've learned how to be patient and then use that patience to get hooks. So when you play Hog, don't be like doing that. Sorry, I kind of over-explained that, but that was a good hook though, right there. Right here, yeah, don't need a heal. Okay. Doing a good job of breaking shields. Now go for a patience hook. Hook now. Boom.
2 + 2 is 4. -1, that's 3. Quick maths.
Okay, so when you hook somebody, make sure to aim down or aim down a little bit for most heroes, but each hero has a different hitbox. If you're playing Roadhog, for example, just hook, adjust your crosshair, and you'll have a way easier time to kill people. And you can go and look at every single hero to do that, but that takes, you know, to get out of bronze, it's going to take a little bit more of like just like simple mechanics, right? So like, yeah, hitting those hooks, you can just aim down and you'll probably get a kill out of it. Looks like the Mercy was damaged for a while. Okay, we have ult now. I'd wait on ultimate, wait for the shields to go down. Okay, so next part, I would have waited for the shields to go down. I mean, you got a kill on Junkrat going down there, but like, or the Roadhog got a Junkrat going down there, but like, what can you even do at that point, right? Like, it's if you ult when they have their shields, you're just wasting ult time. You want to wait. Then what you probably do against the Mei, and this is just my opinion, just say unlucky, and then you can maybe switch after that because you just use your Roadhog ultimate. I would recommend going like a Sigma here to go with the Risk of Sigma against Mei, and you'll do a lot better. We're at 90%. And by 90%, we're actually losing because I did it backwards rather than go back here and then switch to Wrecking Ball to go back to point because your team's about to lose. I'm going to head over to the Mercy for a second and see what the Mercy's doing. All right, not bad. Not bad. Unique. Once again, the team comps, I'm surprised, are pretty decent. Like, the comp up top left for Team 1 is actually pretty good. I want to see the early fight from a Reinhardt's point of view. Not because I'm the best Rein in the world, but because you can kind of get an idea of where they are as a team and if their main tank is also making things harder. Okay, so usually the main tank wants to be in front. And the problem I'm seeing now is the main tank is not even near the front.
The objective is
I would like to see the Rein play a little bit more aggressive. And I'm not saying like if you're in bronze, especially, like, I feel like a lot of players play scared. At least in some of the reviews, the demos of bronze players I've seen, is they play really scared and they're afraid to kind of make plays. So like if you're like, for example, like I talk about like sensitivity mechanics, you could probably play an 80 sensitivity on Reinhardt and maybe get out of bronze if you just kind of be aggressive and realize that like the more space you create for your teammates, it makes them more comfortable, and then you're going to play better in general, right? So like it's one of those weird spots where if you can learn how to get a couple extra swings in there and make them feel a little bit like kind of pressured, especially when they're running Mercy Lucio as their healing comp, sometimes you can literally hit tab, see what their healing comp is, and go, you know what? I can swing on them all day long because there's no way in hell a Mercy and a Lucio are going to be able to keep him alive, right? But then if you have, for example, you have Mercy Moira. So if you have Mercy Moira, even though Mercy's a little bit kind of more of like a solo healer, Mercy can still damage boost the, you know, and pocket people. At the same time, Moira can keep you up, so it's a little bit better than Mercy Lucio, right? It's one of those things where like if you play with more aggression based off of the comp they have healer-wise, then you're going to be able to go in there and get free kills, right? So I think that a lot of people seem to forget that. But that's just me. Okay, now I'm just confused because once again, even though they got the kill, and this is what I mean about like bronze in general, like this is why like I always say mechanically you can just carry or get out of bronze if you just work on your mechanics, which is your movement and your aim, which is why I recommend finding sensitivity at first, right? And once again, we have flanking Francis over here, literally just in the back line, while Ocean Man over here is stuck basically having to try to keep everybody alive because you have the Moira flanking, right? So this is the type of stuff that I say, like, when you have players that do things like this, and they're not even looking at Symmetra over here. Cool skin, by the way, right? So it's like one of those things where it's like, this type of, like, positioning shows you that, like, if you can just improve on those mechanics, you'll do much better and probably get out of bronze to begin with. In my opinion, because, like, sometimes, like, what can you rely on? Like, I think Ocean Man might even die here. Let's see what happens. Okay, so Ocean Man, one thing that I learned, and this is coming from a very terrible Mercy, and I used to do this a lot, don't try to fly everywhere to where you go. Your beam is really long, and you can heal from far distances, so flying into the team, especially when they have point, is pretty much going to get you killed most of the time, especially when, like, Mercy's hitbox is pretty easy to kill compared to other heroes like that. So I would recommend, like, recognize the length of, like, what the beam is, you know, and then just kind of go roll with it. Like, rather than, like, just fly in there and then just die. It's just one of those things, so...
To me. Get behind.
I will not be denied.
Okay. Now.
Knock, knock. Bad guys.
We're back to this like thing where like once again I don't expect people to play as a team, so I gotta watch people's individual play. And I gotta watch like their mechanics when they do it, right? There we go. There we go. See that? Okay, listen. You see that Ryan? You see that Ryan who just got aggressive there? Let's go back to this, the Reinhardt. I love that. I love that. If you play with aggression as a main tank in here, even though you won't have the support sometimes or the healing, if they have a bad healing comp, what the? How do I get the guy? Okay, there we go. Like being aggressive on them is gonna get you kills more often than not. Like this, you can't do anything about because the Reaper's running at you, but you already won the fight. I love seeing that aggression. I love seeing that aggression because if you look at, like I said, you look at their healing comp, you're gonna be able to win the fight every single time. There's not much they can do. Obviously, they can get like a beat and then win the fight, but like this guy is not that bad.
Out of my way, thank you.
And we watch Ryan. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Your teammates are in front of you. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Okay, they're still. They have a lot of ults, so you can be aggressive. Be aggressive. Oh, baby, big slap bell. Oh boy. Okay, well that was unique. Go again. Be aggressive. You have Valk. Now, Alex, if you have Valk here, you can do an aggressive Valkyrie with your team because the other team just used all 6 of their ultimate. There we go. There's the Valk. Now get aggressive. Get aggressive, Ryan. You don't need to put your shield up anymore because there we go, baby. We're in. A little bit too aggressive, but I like it. There we go. That's what I like to see. Because they don't have the heal and the deal with it, so you can still... Oh, baby. That is what I like to see. See that adjustment? Now it's just down to a fucking standoff. Now it's just down to a standoff. That's it. You win the fight. You win the fight. Look at that. Even an emo when the Lucio's on point doesn't even care. Okay, back to swinging. Look at that. That is how you do it. Okay, keep swinging. Keep swinging. You don't need to run away. Why are you swing?
Surrender to my will.
Bad guys.
Double kill solution.
Thank you.
Well,
Score 1-1.
that was unique, chat. We're gonna watch as this Reinhardt gets super aggressive. Because if you play Ryan passive here, you're gonna be in a weird spot.
Everyone, drink up.
Thank you so much, Munbean.
The objective is now.
Like, I can't be honest with you. What he's doing isn't even that bad right now because his teammates are staying with him. So, like
at this level, like, see, here's the difference, by the way. Here's the difference. So, they got aggressive at the beginning. What I like about the adjustment, and this is, like, what I mean by you can adjust your play. So, they're running Lucio Moira on the other team now, and then his team is running Mercy Lucio, which means that if he plays passive like he is now, this fits his playstyle more, right? So, like, it's one of those things where you need to, like sometimes your play, and this is why players might be 50-50. This is literally why players might be 50-50. One thing that can happen in games is that you have a playstyle you're good at, right? You're good at only playing passive, right? And then you'll lose a game because you're dying and your shield's getting broke by Junkrat, and you wonder why you're a 50-50 player. Is because one game you're just playing passive against a Moira Lucio team where they're not doing anything really to your shield and they're not getting aggressive, or you're beating Mercy Lucio comps because Mercy and Lucio are comfort picks, and next thing you know, you're winning every game against them because you're just only used to be able to beat one comp. So a lot of adjustment is like, seriously, look at two things when you play this game. Look at what their healing combination is, because if their healing combination is low, like even if they were like a Zen Lucio, I guess at lower levels even Brig Lucio, which I love Brig Lucio to be honest with you, but that's because players at high levels understand how to play it. But if they're running like, you know, Mercy Lucio or Brig Lucio or Zen Lucio, you can take that space away from them and just keep putting damage into them. Any swing you do is like heal and they can't catch up with, because once their Lucio use heal boost, it's such slow healing. So like a lot of the time, if you look at what they have and then you adjust based off of that, even if you're not good mechanically, you can still become really good and get out of the rank that you're in because you're abusing what they run team comp wise, right? Like you'll hear players all the time say we need more healing and stuff like that, but sometimes like it's not even that you need more healing, it's that you need to adjust the way you're playing with your team. So for example, if you have a Zen one trick and a Mercy one trick and they're not going to switch, you can sit there and complain about having a Zen and Mercy and say GG go next, or you can go what can I do in a Mercy Zen healing comp and then adjust to that, right? And that's a little bit off topic of what we were doing with this game.
Right? You get what I'm saying?
If you can be like, okay, I recognize they have this and I can, you know, work on another hero rather than just play a shield tank because people rely on shield tanks. There's a lot of different things you can do, but like it's such like the problem is that I don't think that most players are gonna I don't think you're gonna win off of like pure teamwork at the bronze level. I think it's gonna be too RNG. Does that make sense? I think it's gonna be too RNG when you play the game, in my opinion. Like it's gonna be too RNG. So like to get out of bronze and silver and gold probably especially, you need to learn how to play and use your mechanics and your mind over just relying purely on your teammates to carry every single game or win every single game, right? Like that's the problem that happens is like this like curve where like it starts off as like mechanical and just individual, and eventually it goes to more team play, right? Like you don't have a lot of games you can hard carry at high level Overwatch, but if you learn how to just be an aggressive Reinhardt because you see a Lucio and a Lucio and a Mercy, then you're just winning games purely off of the fact that you're recognizing, hey, their healing comp sucks and I can get aggressive off of this, especially if you're running your own Lucio and stuff like that. So it's like one of those things where people always want to kind of like, oh, we need this, we need that. But like at these levels, like you're never going to fully expect players to be able to play those heroes at a high level regardless, because they're either one tricking or they're just trying to learn how to get better because they're in bronze or silver. So if you can learn about a lot of this stuff, like you'll get better as a player. It's just one of those things where like, it's a hard adjustment, I guess you could say. It's like a super hard adjustment.
But once you start to do that, you'll be good. I mean, high plat is a little bit still mechanical, obviously a little bit more teamwork based, but that's a whole different story. We'll get to high plat eventually if I do continue doing this, if people like it, right? Anyway, enough of that. So that, I mean, what you're watching, you're basically watching a Reinhardt do this. I'm gonna go to Mercy for a second. You're pretty much playing it just fine. There's really nothing you can do here. Damage boosting like the right targets is pretty much all you can do. Obviously, try to put yourself in better positioning. Like you can hide underneath, but you're with your soldier on a healing station, so that's fine, right? So I just really not much more you can do here because you're relying purely on your DPS, especially when you play Mercy at that point. Ryan has not left his territory. This is Ryan's spot. Ryan doesn't leave. Ryan doesn't care where anybody is. This is Ryan. Look at that big freaking slam. I love the charge. I love the charge. Now, once again, I want to point something out. This is something that you can do, okay? You ready? You've killed enough. You look at the percentages. You see 90%, and you just get aggressive on them and don't let them like have any opportunity to get to the point. Because at this point, like that's literally all you want to do. That's literally all you want to do. And then they win. What a bronze game. So like, I know that like the team I was watching won, but like the thing is like people always like people have questioned that with me. People are like, you know, hey, you know, why would you ever look at something like that where a team wins or somebody does something like that in general? Like, oh, I noticed the beat. They're like, you know, why, you know, this and that, and like they don't think that you can learn. Like, honestly, if you're in bronze right now and you're worrying about, okay, you're reviewing a win, that doesn't help me. I'm sorry, but at that point, if you're still in bronze, anything is going to help you get better if you can understand simple concepts of the game, right? Because the game is like it's like a learning curve, and you need to understand that there are things at lower levels that you can abuse right away. And I'm telling you right now, work on movement, work on mechanics, and understanding like heroes that you can abuse. I like when you play against them, like seeing like low healing, you'll become a much better player, right? You'll become a much better player.